Hello, my name is Sally and I am one of the makeup artists working with Look Fabulous Forever, which is skincare, hair care and makeup, which is specifically designed for older faces like mine. Today I want to share with you, it's a classic look and it's a smoky eye makeup. And I think that smoky eyes are not only for younger faces. I think it can look absolutely fantastic on an older face, as long as it's done really well and blended really well with really good products. So I want to show you a few tips and tricks, and I hope that you will enjoy following along if you've not done a smoky eye before. It's really nice, particularly if you're going out on a special occasion and you just want a little bit more oomph to your eyes. So don't always feel that as you get older, you have to do less and less on your eyes. I actually think the opposite, and I think as I've got older, my eyes have lost their definition, lost their colour, and sometimes it's really quite nice and quite fun to give yourself that little bit of extra colour and definition, and a smoky eye can do that for you. So I'm actually going to use fairly neutral and browny shades as I'm a little bit warmer, but rather than the greys today, although I also do both. I sometimes wear the greys on myself, but I wanted to share with you more of a classic sort of brown neutral look for a smoky eye. So what have I done? I have already prepared my skin. And one thing I would say is if you are going to do a little bit of extra on your eyes, it's really good to make sure that the night before you do really clean them well, and put a bit of eye cream on so that you've got really well hydrated eyes, because makeup always goes on much better to a hydrated face. So I used my eye cream, this one, the night before. And what I've done today already, just to save a little bit of time, is I have prepared my skin. I have used my daily SPF 50+ serum, and I've also used my Smooth Face Day Cream, this one. And I let that sink in, and then I have already done my base. So I put on my face primer, Smooth Like Silk Face Prime. And then today I have used my Continuous Cover Foundation in shade 2, mixed with a tiny little bit of Light Look Beauty Balm in shade 1 today. And I've mixed those together and I've put those on and applied those with my foundation brush. So let's get going. I'm going to put my clips in and then we'll get going with a sort of classic warm, neutral, smoky eye. When you're putting maybe slightly darker colours on your eyes, sometimes you might find you get a little bit of spillage of makeup. You shouldn't really with the Look Fabulous Forever range, because the shadows I'm going to use are very matte, so they're not shiny and shimmery and too loose. However, if you find you do get spillage, a little top tip is to take a cotton wool ball, a little bit of powder, and just pop a tiny bit of powder just on either side of the eye before you start. And then if you do get spillage, it will sort of fall onto the powder, and afterwards you can dust it away with a big powder brush, and then it will not remove any, it won't sort of stick to your foundation. So that's a tip you can use. Now, I have already, as I said, applied my face prime, and the other thing that I did, I forgot to mention that, is I at the same time I applied my Never Feather lip prime, ready for later when I'm going to do my lips. But the primer that I haven't yet applied is one that's really important for a smoky eye. It's Smooth Out Eye Prime. So when you're wearing a slightly stronger look, you definitely don't want your eyeshadow to start creasing as the day goes on, or if you're at a nice event and you get quite hot in the evening, you don't want little bits of creasing on your eyeshadow. That's not a flattering look. So this product stops that from happening, and it also covers up any little fine veins or discoloration that you have on your eyelids. And it does, as it says, it really smooths out crepiness so that when you put eyeshadow on to older eyes, it goes on so much better. So I'm going to take a tiny amount, You don't need very much at all. And I'm going to use my concealer brush number 4 just to apply this to my eyes. Make sure that your eyelids are dry and that they haven't got any oil residue from eye makeup remover or eye cream. It goes on much better when they're dry, clean and oil free. So I'm just going to pop that, you see how little I needed, all over my eyelids where I'm going to be applying eyeshadow. So let's get going with some colours. I'm going to use today as my base a slightly stronger colour. I could have gone just for cream as my base, but I'm going to use a mid-tone colour. So I'm actually going to use our Taupe, which is a very popular colour in the Look Fabulous Forever range. And I'm going to apply that with my eyeshadow brush number 7 as a base of colour. I'm just going to start just on that outer edge and bring it in. And then I'm just going to cover my whole lid. With a smoky eye, you want to sort of it to graduate. So you've got a little bit of darkness going to the outer edge. So if you always have start sort of in that outer edge, you'll get the more of the colour there to start with, which is what you want. So I'm just putting it literally just above my socket line. And then I'm just going to put a wash of colour all over my eyelid. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just that first base so that you've got something for the next colour to adhere to. It's a little bit of a layering process with a smoky eye. The eyeshadows are so incredibly gentle that you can build them up step by step, blending, and it won't look harsh or scary or too shimmery. What I'm going to do now is I am going to use the same family, and it's quite a new colour for us. It's called Dark Taupe. So it's a little bit darker, but it's still, let me show you that, a little bit darker, Dark Taupe. And I'm going to build up the colour a little bit more on that outer edge. And to do that a little bit more precisely, I'm using a smaller brush. So I'm going to use our brush number 9. So when you're doing this, it's important to sort of keep your eyes open so you know where to start. You want to be able to see the colour. So I would say sort of start about here so that you can just about see that colour. Don't worry if it looks a little bit raggedy at this point. I'm going to be cleaning it up. So I'm going just in the crease and just above so that you can just see the colour. Another tip which I know that some ladies like to use is you can put your cotton pad, if it helps you, just to create a little bit of a template. That's another way you can do that. If you find it hard to do it sort of freestyle. So I'm blending it back again with the first brush that I applied the colour Taupe on with. What you don't want with a smoky eye is it to look as though you've got 3 different colours or 2 colours or however many colours you use. They just want to graduate and melt into each other. So let's go a tiny bit more, just a little bit more. So this brush is fantastic for blending. Brushes are your saviour for eye makeup, and particularly for a smoky eye, because you just want everything to look seamless. Okay, I'm now going to go even darker because I'm going smoky. So I'm going for a third colour. I am going for chocolate, which is the darkest brown that we do. But even this can look nice on cooler because it's got that sort of little bit of It's like a purpley chocolate. It's a really pretty dark brown. So again, I am going to use the small brush, this one. So this is my brush number 9. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this chocolate because it's quite intense. Just sort of take off the excess on my hand. And then I'm just putting that right on that outer corner here. And bringing it down onto the base of my lashes. So you can see we're getting a bit darker. Such a pretty colour. The scary bit is if somebody knocks on the door at this point and I have to open the door, half done, I just won't open the door. Okay, so we've kind of started. What I like to do is, I think on an older face, it's also nice to have a little pop of light if you've gone quite dark like this. So I love, now this is where I'm contradicting myself and saying about a little bit of shimmer, but I do like the Sheer Brilliance lid colours. And this is the one called Golden Mist. And I quite like to put a tiny bit of highlighter just in the centre when I've done a really dark smoky eye. Just like so. Looks a bit weird now. Again, don't worry. You can just use, I'm now using my, this is my lip and eye brush number 5, just to pat that in very slightly, and then I'm just going to use my finger. It is a bit of a sticky product, but I just think it gives that little bit of a pop of light in an otherwise quite dark look, and I think that can be quite attractive on an older eye. So light colours bring forward. So I've just put a tiny bit just in the centre so that when I blink, there's that little bit of light. I need some eyeliner now. I need some mascara. I need some eyeliner. I need some brows. So I am going to stick with the brownie look, and I'm going to use our lovely, lovely soft eyeliner in dark brown, this one. And this will start to help with the look. So this is, again, for me, a really important part of my eye makeup. And with this one, I have to hold my eye because I can't do it. I can't open this one. So again, out to in, slightly lifting the outer edge. I always say, try and think that you are actually drawing on the lashes, then you won't get a gap. You don't want that little gap between your lashes and your eyeliner. So a good magnifying mirror really helps. I'm going to put a little bit underneath for this look. I want to just really, and I'm taking the pressure off the eyeliner as I get in and bringing the bottom up to meet the top. What I'm going to do now is I am going to take my trusty brush number 8. This is a lovely brush. It's a wedge brush, and this is going to allow me to set my eyeliner even more and smudge it and make it look a little bit less like I've drawn a line. So I'm going to go back in on the top with the chocolate and the wedge brush, and I'm going to take some of the product up onto the brush. Then I take the excess off on the back of my hand. With the pointy bit on the outer edge, I'm just going to press the product into my lashes. So I'm literally going over the eyeliner, just where I have used the pencil, but with the chocolate eyeshadow, which is matte, so it's not shimmery. It's like setting it with a powder. Okay. Underneath, I'm going to go over the dark brown, but this time I'm going to use the dark taupe rather than the chocolate on my wedge brush. So I'm going to just, again, very gently, just bring that around, just to really define. A smoky eye looks good when it's really well defined. I'm just going to dust off some of this powder, which was quite useful. It's caught a few little bits that would have just sat on my foundation. And now what I'm going to do is my lashes. I want to curl my lashes for this look. So I'm going to take my eyelash curlers. My lashes are quite short. Mascara is a really important part of a smoky eye look. So I'm going in with black, and I'm going to use our Lithe Lash Mascara in black, waterproof as well. And I am going to put a couple of coats on because I really do want to wiggle it into the base of my lashes. I tend to start in the middle and sort of blink onto it. And you can see my lashes have been lifted by using the eyelash curlers. Right, so now we need to tidy this little bit up here. So I'm going to use one of my favourite products, Instant Bright Highlight, and I'm going to put this underneath my brow. This is a little clicky pen, and it's just brilliant because it's a highlighter. So I'm going to put a little bit just under the highest part of my brow area. Which concealer brush again. This is my brush number 4, just to blend that in. You can use fingers, or I quite like this brush because it means you can just sort of guide it. And while I've got it in my hand, I quite like to put a little bit just down the centre of my nose and onto the top of my cheekbones to create a little bit of light and dewiness. Okay, Instant Bright Highlight, Sally's magic pen. I'm going to just define my brows a little bit now. And I'm going to take my spoolie brush, which is my brush number 6. And first of all, just groom my brows a little bit. And then I'm going to use my Bring Back Brow Shape, this product. I could have used blonde, but because I've gone for a smoky eye look, I'm going for the slightly darker one today. I'm going to go for brown. So give it a shake. And it is literally a paint. Now, because I'm using the brown one, this is a little bit darker. So I like just to take it off onto a tissue before I start. Just take off the excess or onto the side, just so that it's not quite as dense on the paintbrush when I start. And then I'm just going to fill in, starting in the middle, any little areas where I need to add in some brows. What I'm going to do now is go back in with the spoolie brush. This is an important part of this product, and soften it. And now I'm going to take my concealer. So let me go back in and make sure that around the underneath, because you don't want any darkness around here now that you've done that quite strong look. So I'm going to go in with an even slightly lighter concealer. I'm going in with my concealer number 1. And I'm going to put a little bit into my inner V, here and here, where it's quite bluey. And then just take my finger, just to make sure that that area is quite bright. Now I definitely need some cheeks and a little bit of lip. I'm not going to go too strong on my lips because I've gone reasonably strong on my eyes. So I'm going to use some peach cream blusher, this one, which is really pretty. And I'm going to put it on first of all with my finger. I'm going to find the apple and I'm just going to sweep it upwards. Just to give me a little bit of, really, it's a pretty colour, suits pretty much everyone. So it's a cream blusher that turns into a silky powder. And I'm now going to just take my blusher brush, number 2, and just bring it up with that. I'm going to give myself just a sweep of bronzer as well, just not too much. Just use my big powder brush to do that. And for my lips, I've already, as I said, used my Never Feather lip prime on my outer edge of my lips when I put my base on. But I'm going to today use the lip liner, so defining lip liner in Roseberry, which is one of my favourite colours. I like Roseberry and Strawberry, both of those are my favourite. But these are so soft. So that then will give a stain of colour which will last. So when I'm at my lovely event with my smoky eye, I don't have to worry too much about my lipstick coming off. So I could just use a gloss at this point. I'm actually going to use a little bit of Tawny Beige lipstick, which is a quite a natural colour. And this is a really, again, hydrating lipstick that's got jojoba oil in. So quite nice and natural. But I do like to use a little bit of gloss with this look. So I'm going to use my gorgeous gloss Lip Shine in Cinnamon Kiss. And again, with gloss, I don't want to use it all over. I don't want that all over sticky look. I like it in the middle. So just a little bit in the middle. So hopefully you can see now, now that I've done my lips and my mascara and my brows and everything sort of comes together, that really scary look at the beginning, hopefully you can see, although it is a strong look because it's a smoky eye, that's what we wanted, is not too overbearing, and I hope that you can enjoy playing with it. If you are cooler toned, I am obviously slightly warmer toned, and you don't want to use the sort of the browns and the neutrals, then using the greys works beautifully. Obviously a smoky eye, a grey eye, that's what people often think about. So you could still use the taupe colour that I used all over, but then you could actually use the charcoal or pewter in your sort of socket line. You could do pewter first and then charcoal, or you could just go for greys and use the soft grey, which is the lighter colour, all over, then pewter, then a bit of charcoal, and you could then use the soft grey eyeliner rather than the dark brown one, and you can go over it with charcoal and you'd get the same sort of look but in the greys. You could even do a similar smoky eye with a little bit of midnight blue on that outer corner if you want. If you were wearing a lovely dark blue navy velvet dress, for example, then I might do this same kind of look with maybe the greys and midnight blue, and that can look absolutely stunning. So smoky doesn't have to mean just grey. You're sort of graduating out the sort of darker colours, winging it out a little bit, and just going for a slightly, it should still look soft. And the secret, the absolute secret, is to invest in a couple of brushes, definitely. If you haven't got blender brush and the small brush, that is the way that your eye makeup will always look much, much more professional and will last really well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope you have some fun having a go. Take your time, go, and when you've got a little bit of time, a good mirror, good light and good brushes, and have a play at creating your own smoky eye, and we'd love to hear how you get on. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.